Hi, I'm Daryl Starr with Advanced Ag Solutions, and today we wanted to go over some early corn scouting. This is a series of videos that we're doing about crop scouting, teach you some intro tips and some ideas that you can use out in the field. Today we're in a no-till cornfield into soybean stubble, and we'll show you what we can do here. So the first thing you want to do is be carrying a shovel and your measuring tape. You want to stick the shovel in the ground and take your measuring tape and walk it out 17 feet 5 inches. "17 feet 5 inches straight across. Start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so right here I got 30 on that side, 32 on this side. We averaged those two together and got 31. At the same time that I was counting out the plants, I also had in mind some of these small ones. So like this plant right here, definitely behind compared to the neighboring plants. So I know that there's 2,000 on this side and 3,000 on that side. So a little uneven area here in the field. We average those together and call it 2,500 plants are a leaf stage behind. So you can make a note for both the growth stage at this point as well as the population and the difference you saw in the stand. 5 inches. Leave your measuring tape down and go get your shovel. Okay, so as you are scanning this area, you want to look for these plants that are a little bit behind. If there's insect feeding or whatever that's might be going on, and you want to investigate here. So we'll stick the shovel in just outside of the row. Make sure to push it all the way down, get underneath where the seed would be, about 2 inches down, and push it down on the shovel. As you push down on the back part, you can also split this open. This will get harder to do as these plants get bigger and bigger, but we're digging up this little guy here, see what's going on. And you want to look in from the seed to the surface here. This one right here, if you can see, there's a bug right there, a little larva. Great example, seed corn maggot is feeding on this. So this field would have had a seed treatment, planted extremely early this season, and has probably played out and allowed these persistent guys to start feeding. There's the kernel, it's just munched apart. So you can also see just exactly how thin this is and healthy. This plant will probably die. It doesn't have enough roots to take off and go, and he's not going to make it. We'll dig up a good looking plant and show you the difference. Again, come from underneath it, lift it out. Still got small plants and these roots aren't big enough to hold it in there. You can kind of peel this back. You want to be careful and try to break it open naturally. Helps keep the roots intact. Here we go. And right here you can see the difference. I mean, the seed is all the energy this plant needs to get up and get started. And if you have an insect feeding like this, there's quite a bit of difference here. This plant's not going to make it. You can see he's holding on. This one's going to make some yield here. You can continue to check these and see what's going on. It gets harder as the season goes by because the seeds, here it is right here. This one looks like it just did not germinate. And that'll happen sometimes. They want to know how many kernels like this am I buying and not getting up and out of the ground. So make a note about how many you see that are either didn't germinate or were crusted in or insect feeding, and separate each one of those and make a note about how many of each. Okay, so in order to grow stage, we use the collar method. Looking at this plant, right here you can see there's the first collar. This is the thumb leaf. These sometimes can get small and fall off as the plant gets bigger, but right now we're still able to see them. So we got one collar here, two here, three here, four, and number 5 is not yet showing. This is the 5th leaf, but there's no collar, so we're at a V4 growth stage. 1, 2, 3, 4, none on 5. Okay, so after you've taken your plant stand, growth stage, population, you've dug for weeds, or dug for insects, excuse me, we want to look for weeds. So again, with the 17 feet 5 inches down, it gives you a perspective here. Pick a representative area of the field, or pick an area of the field that's just really bad and you want to make a note about that they can see that there's a heavy patch. Be sure to call the patch a patch, and then the other parts you can leave as your normal notes. In this area we have a, say, moderate, and you can also note the type of plant, mare's tail, and just how big it is, 2 inches or less. There are definitely some weeds in this field that are bigger. Saw tire tracks earlier, it's been sprayed, but go ahead and note that. So as you're walking in the field, or you're at your point, scan the field and take a look at patches of weeds. Note what they are, keep it in your mind as you're going from point to point. You can make those comments in the general section or under the weeds, just to note that their patches are scattered across the whole field. So once you've surveyed everything, you have a chance to make comments in general, sidewall compaction, different issues that you might see in that particular stop. And once you've made those comments, then it's time to pack up. Grab your shovel and measuring tape and head to the next stop.